Well, welcome to the Friday Bubble. We have another Blanc to Blanc to tell you about today. And from Henriot, they've launched a new concept of champagne. Essi, we were lucky to taste this back in the spring of this year. Would you like to introduce us?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a new collection of like pop-up cuvées from one cuvée per year. So l'inattendu, meaning the unexpected.
Okay.
So the first vintage being 2016. So this was actually right after Gilles de Larouzière, the current president, had taken over the job. So he wanted to start to showcase some of the best performing, most interesting wines of the year on their own. And as being one of the historical villages of Henriot, they went for Avize. In this year, and actually 4 plots within Avize from different parts of Avize to show different profiles of the village. So rather, I think 16 is quite a cool profile year. There's nice ripe fruitiness, but there's always a nice acidity to go with the wine.
Now, I remember this when we tasted it a few months ago. It had this beautiful lemon richness to it. Yeah. 2016s are only just starting to come out, and it's interesting. Essi said it's a cool year because I find just everything seems so controlled in the fruit. It's not overripe. It's not.
Exactly. Not one of maybe the biggest wow years, but definitely harmonious, and there's nothing really wrong with them. They're actually pretty lovable from every aspect. What I always have loved about this wine is there's sort of a transparent quality to it. There's like really shiny see-through fruit in it.
One of the things, I guess this is the Côte de Blanc character really coming out. There's this beautiful sort of chalky sort of note. You pick it up a bit on the aromatics. You certainly see it on the mouth, and then it's got this sort of lovely. I don't know if it's just salinity. It's almost quite like iodine-y, I think, on this one when you.
I'm still on the nose where I think I think Henriot does so well Chardonnay. It's so creamy and so toasty for them always. But here, as it's a more singular expression, really very little blending done, there is like that deliciousness of that ripe fruitiness, and then the toastiness a little bit more subtle.
Right. Do you see the sort of seaside character that I'm trying to describe?
There's like a nervosity to it, which is lovely, and that salinity seaside thing comes at the end, and it's that transparency, it still is on the palate as well. It finishes very dry. I think it has like 4 grams.
4 grams, yes,
of sugar, and it just perfectly fits. It makes it a very pure, bright, salty finish.
There's a rather lovely playfulness, and I don't know whether this is the acidity in it seems really quite fresh and bright. I'm trying to think of another year where we'd compare that to, but I don't know, in comparison, the freshness of the acidity.
Well, in style, I always find that the 14s and the 16s are a little bit similar because they have the same harmony, that there is a good acidity, there is ripeness, there is good, but never like dominant acidity. Okay. It's not like a 13 or an 8 where the acidity really drives the wine.
To me, I'm going to describe it as a playfulness. There's a sort of lovely, I think it's got a lightness, and I can't quite decide how to describe that. Like it's there's power, and I think it's the chalky element that gives it this sort of light sort of feel to it. Yeah,
absolutely. I love it for the transparency, and it has to me a very contemporary feel. I think it's lovely that I think it was a batch of 20,000 bottles, so very small batch overall, but I really look forward to seeing what they will have done, from 17, 18, 19 and onwards.
So Henriot, l'entendu, and 2016, looking like another year to look forward to. So Essi, thank you again, and enjoy a glass of champagne tonight. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.